This is day 30 of my 30-day fat loss journey, and today I'm going to show you my results. I'm going to show you exactly what I did, how I did it, what I learned, what my physique looked like before and what my physique looks like now. But first, I'm going to take it back to a couple of years ago when I finished my first ever bulk. During this bulk, I dedicated a couple of months to gaining not necessarily as much weight as I possibly could, but to set myself up in a calorie surplus where I would gain as much muscle mass as I possibly could. So you don't have to put yourself in a bulking phase in order to gain muscle mass, but it can really help with making a lot of progress. So that is what I did a couple of years ago, and I ended up gaining 20 pounds. So after I gained those 20 pounds, I transitioned into a cutting phase where I set myself up in a calorie deficit. So I basically ate less than what I needed to maintain my current weight, and that helped me to lose some extra body fat that I gained during the bulking journey. So this is also why you shouldn't feel forced to go through this, because it's kind of a big deal, because you first go through a phase where you gain weight and then you get yourself up in a calorie deficit. So it's not something that I would recommend to everyone, but I really enjoyed it because I was just in for a challenge. I was fully dedicated and I was just really excited to see where I could take my physique in basically a couple of months. So after ending that fat loss phase, I was left with a shredded physique with muscle definition. I maintained that for a couple of months, maybe even 2 years or so. And then I took this photo. I took this photo 80 weeks ago, and I remembered vividly thinking, I might want to start another bulking journey because I really enjoyed building muscle. I really enjoyed doing it in a healthy way, and I really enjoyed the process of the fat loss after, but also taking you along with me. And the first time I did it before I had social. So during the second time, I was like, it would be really fun to actually show everything, show everyone that it is okay to gain weight, show everyone how you can lose weight in a healthy way. And I remember that photo was the first time that it ever crossed my mind to maybe do it again. And then I did it again, I think about 6 months later or so. That was about a year ago from now. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to start another bulking phase, and I'm going to specifically focus on growing my glutes, and I'm taking you along with me for this journey, which I did. I shared a lot of videos, photos, my progress, how I was gaining weight, what I did, what I ate. So basically during this gaining period, I decided to not do any calorie tracking or not do any macro tracking, because for me it makes sense to eat the things that I feel really good by, the foods that just makes me feel energized. And so I thought what makes most sense is just to keep eating what I'm currently eating now that I'm maintaining, but then add a little bit more on top of it. So basically setting myself up to eat maybe 200 or 300 calories a day more, just by, for example, having a little bit more oats than what I normally would, or have a little bit more granola with my yogurt. Like, it was just really simple. I just increased my portion sizes. So it just was a process that happened quite naturally, because as I was gaining weight, I also became more hungry because I was bigger. So then I would just keep increasing my portion sizes. So that is how I navigated this bulking journey. And then I ended up with glutes. I was really proud of myself, really happy with my progress. Like, I really built my glutes during that bulking journey. I trained hard, I followed my programs, and I loved it. If you want to focus on growing your glutes, and if you're looking for a program that I personally swear by, then you can click the link in my description box down below, because it is most similar to my Hourglass program in my app, which is really challenging, really fun, and you can fully customize it to your experience level and how many days per week you want to train. So it fits exactly with your schedule. The only thing you have to do is just stick to it. So I did that for a couple of months, and then I gained another like 20 pounds or so, and I felt like I was getting stuck a bit at the end. So it wasn't really easy for me to gain. I just naturally hit a plateau, and I don't want to like force feed myself. So I was like, maybe this is a good point to kind of stop. But then I felt a little bit lazy in general. So I noticed that I wasn't really super active anymore, even though I always swear by doing cardio, regardless of your fitness goals, because it's really good for your heart health. I was just kind of getting a little bit more lazy with everything. So I wasn't really necessarily paying attention to my food choices as much. I wasn't really having vegetables with every meal. You know, you just know when you're kind of hitting a plateau and everything just feels a little bit more gray, which is fine. But then I was like, maybe it's time for me to challenge myself. And what is the best way to challenge yourself than by saying, let's do a 30-day challenge? So that's exactly what I did, and that's what you've seen. 30 days, not because I want to crash diet and lose as much weight as possible. For me, it was to basically clean my diet up and make sure that I was active again and basically feel my fittest self. So when I started the 30-day fat loss journey, I decided to do so by cleaning up my diet, as I said. So this means making sure that I have vegetables with every meal, making healthy food choices, not really eating that much like things that don't really benefit me next to it, just trying to keep it as clean as I can. Again, not tracking, not counting. It doesn't really feel intuitive to me. It doesn't feel like I can really listen to my body and feel my best self. So I was doing none of that. I was just cleaning up my diet. So that's what I did. And then I decided to also increase my activity level. So there are multiple ways of doing a fat loss journey, but it all comes down to making sure that you can stick to it long term and making sure that you can stick to it after you've reached your goal. Because what you don't want to happen is that you spend a lot of energy and time and dedication into reaching your goal, but then as you slowly transition out of this diet that you've been doing, out of this fitness regime that you've been doing, that you then gain all the weight back and your efforts were basically for nothing. So the best way to achieve long-lasting change is by changing your habits. So for me, that is saying I'm going to make sure that I increase my activity because I'm going to do cardio like 2 or 3 times a week. I'm going to tie it to my program. So when I go to the gym, I'm going to run on a treadmill. I'm already there. I might as well do my cardio. So for me, those changes are long-lasting. I can stick to them. Usually I stack them with other habits, for example, with going to the gym. And I don't have to worry about reaching my goal and then all of a sudden like yo-yoing back again. So during those 30 days, I gave myself a step goal. I usually have a step goal, but I wasn't really paying any attention to my step goal anymore at the end of my book. So I gave myself a step goal, just an aim of being as active as I can just outside of my cardio. I did cardio next to it, which I was strict with because I really wanted to build up my cardiovascular health. And then, as I said, cleaned up my diet. For me, that usually means like don't buy things that you don't plan on eating. It's very simple, and try to make healthy meals at home that you love, that you enjoy eating, so you don't feel like you're dieting, but you are dieting. But my focus is always on increasing my activity because that helps me with feeling my fittest self. During this period, I really fell in love with cardio as a whole. Like running has become so fun to me. I used to hate running because I was running way too fast. But then because I started training running and I realized that you actually have to run at an easy effort, and I was like, I have never done that before. It made the biggest difference ever. So for me, cardio is now a very integral part of my program, and it still is. That's what I mean with making sure that you make long-lasting change. So for me, it's now really easy since I no longer am in my fat loss journey. I just eat more again, like I increased my intake, but I still keep the habits of being as active as I can because that just makes me feel really good. So if you're interested in that, then you can follow the hybrid program on my app. Again, my app is linked. You can try it for free for 14 days. When it comes to weightlifting, you want to make sure that you keep lifting weights, even if you transition from a bulking phase into a cutting phase, because what helps you to build muscle during a bulking or gaining phase is what helps you to prevent from losing it during a cutting phase. So keep lifting with weights and make sure that you keep your protein intake up, and then you should be able to preserve as much muscle mass as you possibly can, because the goal is to decrease your body fat percentage, not necessarily just to lose weight or to lose weight by losing muscle tissue, because you just spent effort building it. So after doing all of this for 30 days, this is the difference in my physique. I only lost a couple of kilograms, but as you can see, I definitely look more shredded. Obviously, you also lose water weight, which really helps with looking more dry and more defined. But overall, I think because I tend to lose fat on my abdominal area quickest, or on my upper body quickest in general, that becomes like way more shredded way more quickly. But again, it never really was about becoming more shredded or more lean. For me, it really was about feeling my best, feeling my fittest self. I'm running now, I'm active, I'm hitting my steps, I'm eating clean, and overall I just feel really, really good. And I did lose a little bit of volume on my glutes, obviously, because with my glutes there was also fat tissue there. So maybe I'll do another like gaining journey. I mean, you never know. I'm still focused on training my glutes really, really hard because I love the look of them. But for now, I just feel really good doing what I'm doing. So I'll definitely continue doing so. So what I learned during the last couple of years and then during these last 30 days, probably specifically, is that nothing that is worth having is easy or is quick. Because the reason why it is so valuable to you is because it takes effort. It's because you need to dedicate yourself. It's because not everyone has it, or because it is hard to achieve. That's exactly why it is valuable. So at times when you feel like giving up, or you are getting demotivated, or you feel like it takes forever, like you're not seeing a change, that is exactly how you should be feeling. The only thing that you have to do is feel those feelings, but still push through. Still do what you set out to do, because in the end, if you achieve it, then you achieved something that is really valuable to you. I think that in general, people overestimate what they can achieve in a short period of time, and they underestimate what they can achieve in a long period of time. So if you can dedicate yourself to this long term, and to this I don't necessarily mean changing your physique, but I mean elevating your lifestyle. I mean living a healthy lifestyle, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, your soul, everything, you will have such an incredible transformation long term. But it will take a lot of patience from you short term. Because again, nothing worth having is easy or quick. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I really hope to see you in the next one.